Proverbs chapter 12, beginning in verse 9, gives us a series of verses that starts off with a very simple word. It says, better. Better is he who is lightly esteemed and has a servant than he who honors himself and lacks bread. And so, when we look at that, we start off with that first verse right there in Proverbs 12 and verse 9. It says, you're better if, even though the world lightly esteems you and the world doesn't think much of you, but you have a servant, you're better off than that man who honors himself, but he lacks bread. Here he is, a boastful, arrogant person. He's honoring himself, but he really doesn't have anything. And he has no reason to be boastful. He has no reason to be arrogant. I look at people today and they're boastful and they're arrogant and they exalt themselves above other people, but they really have no reason to do so. They have nothing really to brag about, nothing to be boastful about. But here's this other guy. He's got a servant, so he must be kind of well off, but he's lightly esteemed. But you know what? When it comes right down to it, it doesn't matter what the rest of the world thinks about you. You're better. It's not that you're better than anyone else, but you're better off than the one who exalts himself, but he doesn't even have any bread. You see, when we begin to get caught up in what the world thinks about us and how the world feels about us, even the world's ideas of what is better and what is worse, we get caught up into a place to where we become selfish and prideful and arrogant, and we too will get to that place to where we'll end up coming to ruin. When we follow the world's standards and the world's ways, it's going to bring us down. The reality is you're better. You don't worry about what anybody else thinks. You don't worry about how the rest of the world feels. You don't worry about what they think about you. If they don't like you, it doesn't matter. Now, it's not that you're going around the world trying to make them dislike you. No, that's not the point. You want everybody to love you, right? Everybody does. But if they don't, but at the same time, you're living right, you're doing right, you're treating your servant right, you're treating you're providing for your family, you're living honorable in this world as an honorable citizen of this world, and you're seeking after God, and the rest of the world hates you, then it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't matter what the world thinks about you. Because there's only one in this world that we really need to concern ourselves with the opinion of, and that's God. And the good news is, He loves us.